Hey there, I'm Kathy Kennedy and I want to welcome you to my travel vlog. Today I want to talk to you about Alaska excursions, how to maximize your time while you're in Alaska. Now, I'm a travel agent. I'm a cruise planner, American Express specialist. I am a travel expert when it comes to Alaska. Now you say, well, why would she say that? Well, I've been there 9 times. That's right, 9 times. I love Alaska. I just love it. In fact, I'm going back next year. So I usually escort groups to Alaska. So there's a good thing about that is if I'm not on the excursion or I haven't experienced the excursion, then I have plenty in my group that have, and we're more than happy to share their opinions and what they think was great about what they did in Alaska. So during this vlog, I just really want to give you a couple of my picks, I want to say, as to what to do. Let's start with the Inside Passage. Okay, Inside Passage, first stop is usually Ketchikan. First off with Ketchikan, to me, it's just a great little town to walk around. You're usually port right there, so it's an easy walk into town. Great sign up there. It's like, welcome to Ketchikan. It's just, man, it's grown over the years. I've been going there for 9 years. But the first thing I do when I'm in Ketchikan, I find my way to a place called Creek Street. That's Creek Street. Say that fast 3 times, I can't. It is where, in most cases like this past August, this is where the stream is literally filled with salmon. In fact, my son was down there trying to catch them because when the salmon run, this is one of the streams that they bed back into. And they've created this little amazing mall-type shopping area, and it's from some of the old bardellos that were left over from the gold mining, etc., etc. So you get yourself down to Creek Street. You also will pass something called the Lumberjack Show. So the Lumberjack Show, I've not gone, but I'll tell you what, a lot of the ones in my group have, and they loved it. So they raved about it. So even if you don't go, you're going to hear the cheering and the sound going on. Ketchikan also is one of those ports that I suggest shopping. So you want to bring back some souvenirs. You want to be able to get those t-shirts or whatever. This is one of the better ports to do it. And actually, I love gem jewelry, that Creek Street mall market type area. Really good stuff in there too. Now, if you want to go and actually have a phenomenal excursion in Ketchikan, totem poles, you will hear about totem poles. If you're into the history of that, that's okay. No rave reviews on that from my clients. Rave review has been once called From the Deadliest Catch. I don't know if you've seen that TV show, but they have an excursion called CSEA Crab Fisherman Tour. And my son and I did this past year, and I loved it. It was phenomenal. You get out into the water, eagles, and oh my gosh, up close and personal with crab and octopus. It was great. The other thing, I want to probably say this was my favorite. My husband and I finally did a seaplane into the Misty Fjord. Now, Misty Fjord is, I want to say, an area untouched by man. And it is just beautiful to see it in a very small seaplane. So you literally take off from the water and you fly, and then we landed in the fjord. Very special. Put that one on the bucket list. So that's Ketchikan. Next stop is usually Juneau, capital of Alaska. Well, there's a lot to do there. Juneau is a little closer to the ocean. So I always suggest whale watching, and I think probably in Juneau I've done whale watching about 3 times. I think they're one of the better. They can do a combo, like for times you'll see a combo where you can go to Mendenhall Glacier and then do whale watching. You'll hear a lot about Mendenhall Glacier. From the land perspective, it has melted, pushed back a lot. So it's not as big of a wow as it used to be, say 9 or 10 years ago. But what is a wow, and I did this for the first time with my son this year, is take a helicopter ride to the top of Mendenhall Glacier and dog sled. Oh my gosh. that it's probably one of my best tours I've ever had. It's always going to be a memory for me. It's not cheap. I'm just going to tell you. So, but it is worth it. I would do it again. The other thing is, and I'm hoping to do this next year because I've heard a lot of clients do it and absolutely rave, is the Tai Ku. It's a Tai Ku glacier flight in Salmon Bake. So amazing thing. Again, anything when you take a flight up over into the glacier, you can't lose. It's really good. Now keep this in mind, because in Alaska the weather changes. That's the reason why the ecosystem is the way it is. So you can go from having these wonderful flights and things that are booked, and then the weather changes and boom, it's canceled. So that's always a possibility. So I'm giving you a couple of these other things that you can do that is kind of local, so in case that happens, you have a little extra. For example, let's say you're in Juneau, you got the Tai Ku booked, or you got the Mendenhall dog sledding and they all cancel. Well, then you'd have to come back. But if not, you want to hit downtown. Downtown is kind of neat. It is the capital. It is the only capital in the United States that you can't drive to. You either have to fly or you have to come by boat. So that kind of makes it unique. But hit the Red Dog Saloon. Fun place. Takes you back into the cowboy gunslinging days. The floor is made out of sawdust. You've got the saloon girls there. And if you can get there when they do the show, there's an older gentleman, he comes in, he has the piano thing going. It is a lot of fun. So Red Dog Saloon. And if the weather is pretty good visually, there's something called the Mount Roberts Tram. It's right downtown. You don't have to book that in advance. Don't book it in advance. You want to make sure the weather's good. If it was a clear day, which I was there twice this year, and it was beautiful both of those times, take the tram up. You can buy the ticket right at the base. Once you get up there, they've got different things you can view, but you can do about, if you want to see, it's about a mile and a quarter more that you can go up, and the pictures are beautiful because then you're looking down, you're seeing the water, the town, very, very pretty. So keep that one in mind. Again, very inexpensive, but a lot of great things to do. So Juneau, whale watching, dog sledding, glaciers, Red Dog, Mount Roberts Tram. Skagway. Now you're going to sail all the way up and you're into Skagway now. It's one of the prettiest towns. It's got beautiful mountain glaciers all around the town, and the little town is staged just like you could probably shoot a Western right there, even with the plank sidewalks. It's really very, very neat. And again, I'm gonna star this one out. Good shopping town. There's a lot of great shopping that you can do there. Souvenirs again to take back. Be sure and hit the Red Onion Saloon. That's downtown. I wouldn't necessarily stay there, but you got to stick your head in the door to see all the bedpans. You'll see what I'm talking about. So anyway, go there. But everybody in Skagway does the White Pass train, and you can take the train up into the Yukon. Highly recommend that if you've not done it. Now take the train up and take a bus back, or vice versa. Do the bus up and the train back. If you take the train up and back, you're just going to be looking at rock the whole way. Also, if you're going to take the train in the morning, be wary of fog. So if you want to try and book it a little bit later on. But the train is where you want to do that in the town. That's what Skagway's all about. The other thing that you can do in Skagway, you can do dog sledding. So I'm just now looking at this. You can do dog sledding. And we did this tour, I don't know, so about 3 or 4 years ago maybe. And they're still doing it because I just looked it up, because I know that's probably what we'll do this next time. And it is literally called a speedboat fjord discovery. And it's amazing. You literally are on a speedboat and you are flying down the Lynn Canal, which is one of the deepest fjords in the world. It amazing. Pictures, it's gorgeous. So suggest you do that one after you do the train. If you've not been, you want to do the train. Now, when you get back on the ship in Skagway and you're doing this inside passage, you're probably going to be sailing out in the evening, which the sun, depending on when you're there, you're going to be getting a lot more daylight, but it starts to dwindle down. Don't go to dinner that night on the ship. Go to the back of the ship or get up high on the ship, because you're sailing out of what is called Lynn Canal, which is the deepest and the narrowest fjord in the world. And when you start to see if you're into photography, when you start to see some of the shadows from the mountains and the glaciers and the water with the sun coming down, your camera's gonna go crazy. Some of the most beautiful pictures I've ever had has been taken as we've sailed out of Skagway. Now, while you're on the ship, you will be doing at least one glacier viewing. And just some tips with the glacier viewing: if you're in a balcony, that's great, but you really want to get out of your room, and they'll tell you if you've got a balcony, oh, you can see everything. Not really. You really want to get out where you can hear the commentary, because when you actually sail into a fjord, you're going to hear about the history, and you're going to hear about the wildlife and the creation of the glaciers. So you're going to hear that from a historian, which is on board. But more importantly, and this was so amazing, I don't know if I can get this picture up to show you, but my son and I went into Hubbard Glacier. There's Hubbard Glacier. You will probably, in an inside passage, use Tracy Arms. There's Glacier Bay. And depending on how the glacier is, because the glacier's live and it's calving, it's dropping ice. So if the ship can navigate close up, we got so close to Hubbard Glacier that we had amazing pictures. We actually saw the calving. We heard the calving. It was amazing. But that's at the front of the ship, and everybody's going to be out there. So just be prepared. Layers. It'll probably rain. It's worth it. It's amazing. So prepare for your glacier sailing. And coming back in from Inside Passage, you'll probably do Victoria, which is not Alaska. It's actually an island off the coast of Vancouver. Beautiful little town. Usually stop there. It's a beautiful little island, I should say. And I would suggest a city tour. The book cart gardens are there. Do that, but you're usually there for a short stay. But it's worth looking into. And then if you're going back into Seattle and you've not been to Seattle, you should stay, or you should go in early, because you want to get to Pike's Place Market. Hands down, you have to go there. You can I suggest then, if you want to take a bike taxi. You guys know what a bike taxi is? A guy drives a bike. You get a bike taxi over to the Needle. If you're back down at Pike's Place Market, you also want to get to Pioneer Square. We've actually there's like a tour boat that you can take out from there, which is just really, really neat. If you happen to come in a day early and you're staying at the airport, there is a little train that runs in. So if I book you whatever, we can talk about that. It doesn't cost very much, but the real thing to experience Seattle is to stay downtown. It's awesome. And I can't think of anything else. I know I've given you a lot of information, but hopefully you get stopped and you've written down a couple of things. Best part is call me. You know, I'm a free service. I don't have any charge to the clients. And all of my travels of the many, many years, 9 times to Alaska, I am more than happy to share that with you. And because I want to make sure that when you are there, you probably won't go up 9 times, maybe once, maybe twice. I want to make sure that you get that best experience, and I can make sure that happens for you. So if this was helpful and you liked the information, please like the post on my YouTube channel, subscribe, and do me a favor, share with the world. Let's travel again on another travel vlog. See you soon.